I think he really wanted to know who that guy was. Like, that guy is such a terrible actor in this movie, so I don't think Nick Cannon was acting. Nick Cannon probably like looked to the side of him, and was like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like, I didn't know you were on set of this movie. But first of all, I know a lot of people out there rolled their eyes when they saw Nick Cannon. Stop it, stop it! Don't lose me. Listen, hear me out, people. Hear me out when I'm talking about one of the black Bulls in horror. First of all, I'll get to Nick Cannon in a second here. I think his name is Salazar in this Day of the Dead remake. 2008, this Day of the Dead remake came out. Now, the original Day of the Dead, 1985, it always bothers me that it took me so long as a kid. It took me so long to fully appreciate that movie for what it was. I think Day of the Dead is underrated. I think it's got arguably the best special effects in any zombie movie ever. Like, it still holds up to this day amazingly. So when I found out they were doing a remake, and I was like, oh shit, Steve Miner's doing this? Friday the 13th Part 2, Friday the 13th Part 3, Halloween H2O. As flawed as that movie is, I can appreciate Steve Miner being a genre guy. Lake Placid, you know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, bet. Like, I'll give it a chance. Kind of threw me off when they said Nick Cannon was going to be in here, and Ving Rhames was in here, and I was like, Ving Rhames was in Dawn of the Dead, so this can't be in the same universe, because now he's playing a race swapped version of Captain Rhodes. Mina Suvari, I love Mina Suvari, from American Pie and all of that. I just was like, okay, I'll give it a chance. Man, this is not a good movie, yo. It is not. If you have not seen the Day of the Dead remake, 2008, because there's two of them, but the 2008 version, it does. I don't know if Steve Miner even really directed this movie. Like, did he just put his name on this and let somebody else do it? Because I'm not saying Steve Miner has a particular stamp as far as his directing goes, to where you can look at a movie and say, oh, that's a Steve Miner movie. He's pretty flexible with his style of filmmaking, but this is just odd, man. Like, the way that this movie is filmed, the way that this movie just plays out, everything is just odd to me, and it's not a good movie. It's a terrible remake. But Nick Cannon, even though it is hard to take Nick Cannon, seriously as this tough gangster Salazar, he's making a fucking homemade spear right now, which is kind of badass in a way. Like, as funny as it is to see him as this character, he has a lot of like plausible moments. The line delivery may not always be there, but he is you look at some of the decisions he makes and some of the things that he says to these characters in certain situations, and it's like, yeah, I think it's just because it's Nick Cannon, a lot of people can't take this character seriously. But if you really sit down and think about his whole thought process in the zombie apocalypse, like as it's happening, it makes sense. It makes sense. He's having makeshift weapons. He's telling Mina Suvari not to be sympathetic towards the zombies and just run their asses over. He's still shit talking Bud. He is the new Bub, but his name is Bud in this one. But he's still shit talking him, in classic fashion, as he is turning into a zombie, even after he turns into a zombie. He even has a little heartfelt moment when Bud is transforming into a zombie. He hasn't quite gotten there yet. But he tells him, don't give up, man. And, Bud says, I won't. Like, he kind of has a little nice moment there. But, he had to show some love to Nick Cannon as Salazar, man, because it's not the best written character, and the performance isn't the greatest, but it is for a bad zombie movie, he uses logic. And he at least survives all the way up until the end of the movie. Now, there is like an alternate ending where he survived. Why didn't y'all just go with that? Everybody's pulling off into the sunset, the survivors, and he's like, yo, wait for me. Like, y'all was trying to leave me. But they didn't do that in this ending. He dies. They made him the sacrificial Negro, man. They're in that underground silo and they're trying to escape. And he's like, just go, save yourself. And he just gets swarmed over by the zombies. And he dies off screen. You just hear him you hear him scream, but they don't show it. But he gets to whoop ass in this, man. He gets to tote shotguns and homemade spears and Uzis and handguns and shit. Like, they give him a lot to do in this movie. You know, this can be debated, but they give Nick Cannon more to do in this Day of the Dead than they gave Terry Alexander to do in the original Day of the Dead as the token black guy. It's just a shame that even as bad as this movie is, it's a shame that Nick Cannon and Ving Rhames didn't get to rock out together. Ving Rhames is, if you haven't seen this, I mean, you're not missing much, but if you want to go into it, don't expect Ving Rhames to be in this movie very long. Um, Spoiler, whatever, I guess, but he's not in this movie long. Um, and when he comes back, it's kind of cool, but it's short lived. So they don't really give him shit to do in this movie. I just can't believe Steve Miner made this movie. I don't know what what was in his contract, but this wasn't it, bruh. But nonetheless, I'm showing love to another black boy in horror. My man, my man Salazar here, played by Nick Cannon.